And thank you so much, Lata, for hosting this wonderful workshop. And everyone, all the parents out here who are watching us on Facebook as live or who are attending our session with MEQ Academy, this is a wonderful topic and it is the buzz with everyone, but we don't want to talk about it. So it's basically, if I want to start, if parenthood comes with a GPS, it would always say recalculating. That's what I can say. Biology is the least of all which can make us mothers. So motherhood, parenthood, it is like a mix of a journey. And with MEQ Academy, we as kids life coach, who has trained us to enable us to know what children go through. This is just a tidbit, what we gather as kids life coach and what we can help you. If you attend the session or listening to us, you can drop in the questions on MEQ Academy, which is going live on Facebook. And also tell us how things are. So let's start with parenting in anxiety. Juhi, very welcome. Hi, everyone. Hi, Preet Jyot. And please, everyone, I would be really lovely if the end, like we will end, so you can ask your questions right away. So I'll be happy to address that. Thank you. So here we start with parenting kids in anxiety. How do we, when we start, if you wait for your kids to come and say that, hi, I'm feeling anxious, you can wait ages till we get 80 or we are 90. They don't come and tell us that, oh, I'm feeling anxious. No, they don't. They don't. They themselves don't know. The anxiety is usually disguised in a different way, in different way they handle different emotions. Maybe they don't feel anxious. Good part is maybe they don't. What what if they do? How will we handle it? So let's start what you're going to expect in today's session. What I do, I'm going to explain. It's a very little thing what we do as kids life coach. We are going to talk about some conversations which you can have with your children to know about it. What is anxiety? What are the symptoms? How you can check whether they are teens, whether they're 4-year-olds, whether they're preteens or tweens. It ranges. The symptoms almost range the same here and there. Anxiety in different age groups. It's very important. Every child group has different anxiety, right? So that's a very important thing. How to ask the right thing and do the right things and ask them to check anxiety. This is another topic we're going to cover. There are going to be some myths we are going to burst about anxiety, which we still believe, which I am before I pursue kids life coaching. I could also used to believe, but yeah, there were some myths around it, which are going to see what they are. And next is how to lessen it. So we are going to start and let's see what do I do. Now, apart from being an engineer by qualification, apart from being attached to a very wonderful academy, MEQ, as a kids life coach and a SEL educator with it, I am also a visual storyteller. So this is what we do as kids life coach, what MEQ tells us to do, and what I have a page by the Nine Mind Glitters, what we do on one-on-one and also in workshops. So we teach, as a kids life coach, we teach them empathy. So the kids come to us. This is one of the skill which we believe. We motivate them. That's very important. We change them. So they come with a sad face and they go with a happy face. Maybe the change can be confidence, it can be resilience, it can be, leadership, it can be any skill. We try to bring in change. We also tap, which is the base of kids life coaching, that is emotions. That's what we run, and that's what actually life coaching. It's basically about everyone. Emotions, it's I think 80% what we are right now. So it is what we are. The most important thing as a kids life coach which we do is trust. How to build in trust with the children. It's very important. Unless we bond, we have a trust with the child, a parents comes with us with their children, not going to share. So I hope we do a wonderful, we try to do it and we are going to continue to do it. So let's start with conversations. What are the conversations? What should you ask your children? See, we all are working, we all are busy with the work life home kind of a balancing act, which of course we're trying to do as parents, since everybody's stuck in the same house and COVID resuming, surging again. So I think we are going to be bound for a little more while till we all get vaccinated. So even if you're busy throughout the day, what questions can you ask them? What are the questions which can actually help you give a tap? See, we always ask the children, how was your day? Rather than asking that, let's ask them, what was the most interesting part of the day, right? So they are going to come up. Maybe they will not come up. Okay. They will not come up with any answer. That's fine. But when you ask them what was the most frustrating part of the day, they definitely were going to come with an answer. So frustrating, maybe they didn't play with a friend, they didn't, come part of it. It can be that. It might be that the child is wanted to watch TV, and maybe when we were working or busy with some chore, we snap at the child. Maybe it can be anything, or the brother sister fighting as siblings, or we are really burdened with a lot of chores and we don't realize. So definitely you're going to have a lot of lot of things in this. Next is there anything you're looking forward in this week? What do you mean by that? Like, since they are not going out, earlier they were going to school every day, right? So looking forward, maybe the weekends come, there's a birthday, or maybe a get together with a known group. It can be something, you have a small thing, taking them out, baking something nice, cooking together, let them have a free day. They can do anything and eat anything. It can be anything. So if they are looking forward, do they want that thing? It will, as a parent, will help you. Next is, which is very important, when you ask these fun questions, the important question comes up: is there anything you are worried about this week? Anxiety, worry, stress, they're all a part of the same circle. They're all a part, they're like a one triangle only. So with different age groups, we all say different things: stress, anxiety, or worry. So are they worried? The exams are coming. Are they worried that this COVID won't go? Are they worried that they are not going to go to school? It can be any worry. Okay, it can be any worry. So you might get an answer to it. I have noticed that you haven't spoken to that friend for a while. Maybe your guess is wrong. Maybe he or she is speaking every day. But what if you come to know, oh my God, I asked a question and maybe the person said, oh yeah, mama, I didn't speak, or papa, I didn't speak to that friend of mine. Maybe that is the cause of worry. So the children don't come to know. So anxiety is something like a disguise. So these are the questions which can be disguised. And rather than asking them directly, you can go to their heart asking these questions. So please try and remember, they are very basic questions, very easy to ask them every day. So I think we all can do that. And I hope you get some answers to it and they will help you to know the children better. What does anxiety feels like? See, when we talk about, we Google, we to search the internet, we see the symptoms, we all know what does it look like. But what it feels like, how is it? What anxiety actually is. It's actually wearing a corset. It's like a tight clothes, like it's too tight. Your stomach hurts and you're very uncomfortable in your own skin. It's actually like that you actually, it's breathlessness sometimes. It can be a social anxiety also. See, since the COVID is coming, kids and even adults, we get scared when see so many people whom we don't know. Now it is a social anxiety. It's a kind of a trigger now which this epidemic has brought in, unfortunately, with elders, with children. But yes, with elders, we always come and say that I got scared with so many children, with so many people. But kids won't say that. They get uncomfortable, but they won't. So it's like, you can explain, when you explain to them, what anxiety looks like, you always tell them, something tighter you are wearing. So you want to open it, it's something like that. It's like a kaleidoscope. So when you see a kaleidoscope, you see the patterns change. So as soon as you figure out the pattern, it again shifts. This is what anxiety looks like. So when they try, the kids, sometimes they're trying to figure out, oh, I have to go to school now. Oh, I have to online, I have to speak for a debate. I have my exams. I don't know. Now there's a subjective, objective. It's so confusing. Or maybe I have to maybe go down to school. Maybe sometimes how will I talk to the teachers? They're trying to figure out a social fabric, but scenario changes. That's anxiety. Being on stage all the time, all that jitteriness, panic attacks, oh my God, I'm going to speak on the stage. So you always feel anxious. Even when we were children, we always, when we used to go for debates or something, we always have this feeling inside it, oh my God, what will I forget? Anxiety feels like that. And nevertheless, it actually feels when you have million to do things, that like a million posters in your brain, and keeps on piling up without clearing the bottom one. So usually in this, what I feel is, I as a parent have done it, passing the anxiety to my children. This is another thing as a parent we do. We usually do that. How we do that? For example, your child has a 9 o'clock class online. and you unfortunately woke up late, 8:30, maybe 8:25, and you suddenly start to rush, oh, there's a class. So you are anxious because child is going to miss it. You wake up the child in anxiety. You pass in the morning that anxiety to the child, and the child also get anxious. And he or she goes and gets up ready and says, oh, I'm scared and everything anxious. So you know, unknowingly we pass on that anxiety to the children. I have done that unknowingly many times as a mother. I do that still. So I'm trying to lessen it, because when you do that, so when any situation comes with your children, they always react with anxiety. They think they have a million things to do. Oh, I have to study this, I have to go down playing, I have to do this, I have to do this. So this builds in anxiety, which is, of course. So as parents, what we can do is not to pass anxiety, be it a father or a mother, it can be anyone. This is not something that everybody, but I feel I do it. So I wanted to share, because I do pass on my anxiety. When I have a million things to do, I always snap at my daughter. Always do that. I don't know why, but I always do it. And that's anxiety, because I can handle so many chores, right? So the kids also can do it. So what does anxiety exactly look like? Exactly. It's actually irritatably. See, with younger kids, I think with 8 or 9 year olds, you start to saying, hey, what? I'm irritated. Teens is a normal thing to say, right? With the parents who the parents who have teens as kids, they usually used to this answer. What are you doing? Why are you irritating me? So it might be a normal thing, but it might be anxious, anxiety. Might be. It's not sure. So the irritating, snapping without any reason when you're going to their room or asking them what to eat, they might snap at you. Obsessive behavior. This is called social media anxiety. Why is it? Why I made a laptop? Because continuously checking Instagram or Facebook or Snapchat, everything, or now Telegram, as a matter of fact, or WhatsApp, to check what somebody has posted on my profile. Did somebody visited my profile? Is my profile looking on the sideways good? So it's like an obsessive behavior, checking online. So this is a social media anxiety, which is a new term, which is coming up now. So this is called obsessive behavior, which does anxiety. How does it look like? Dizziness or sleepiness, feeling sleepy major of the time. Unknowingly, you feel the child is also lazy. He or she is, I don't know, not answering me. Why he or she like this? The children themselves don't know this term. So it might be, as I mentioned, it might be disguised, in it. The human body is 80% water. So you know what we are? Cucumbers with anxiety. That's what I can say. I know it's funny, but yes, this is what we are. Then is overindulgence, when you really want to eat a lot of food or maybe chocolates. When we feel down, we always go and grab a chocolate. We'll think we'll lighten the mood up, or let's have a good something to eat. But yes, sometimes it's fine. But over, when you're eating so much of that food, that's anxiety. When you're avoiding, people are calling you, and this will come after COVID quite a bit, because we'll start avoiding people because of COVID. Now we are used to avoiding people. We try to be lazy. We said, no, here I don't want to come. I don't, I want to avoid making, sorry, I can't make it. That kind of a thing. It with us also is going. So with younger ones, it will come. And it's not anger when they snap at you. Sometimes you feel they're always angry. Why my child is always angry? Why? No, it's not just anger. It might be worry. It might be worry. The children don't know. Last is no concentration. As a kids life coach in one-on-one coaching and many a time the workshop, children come and tell me, ma'am, I don't know, we don't have a concentration. And there are many of them that they always say, ma'am, we don't have concentration. Why? We tell them to do some activities, we do help them, but this might be a reason that they're anxious to maybe go to play, anxious to study, and they don't want to study right now, staying indoors, making them losing the concentration. So when we talk about anxiety system, you can see always this. When you say, as parents, when we say that my child has such a good household, we have such loving parents, we have such a good school, we have the kids are surrounded by good kids, our kids can never be anxious. We are wrong. You know why? Because there's no connection with you as a parent or as a household. Majorly is because of genetics. Maybe you haven't passed it. Maybe don't stop feeling guilty. As a parent, don't feel guilty, because if you find about it, don't think I am the one who made the child anxious. No, it is genetics. 35 30 to 30% of the youth is developing anxiety disorders as per the data. So it is a very big number, and with COVID it is increasing. So we have to help these children, and make them a very happy child, and tell them to come up, and be accepting. Maybe it's not the word, but yes. So where do anxiety in different age groups come? In 2 to 4, they are very young kids. They are scared of the dark. They get anxious of the dark. They get scared of the wardrobes also. Yeah, they do. They see something coming out of the bed. My younger one do in some like 6 months back. She used to stand up in the night and say, "Oh, Mama, there's something under the bed, under the sheet." So that is kind of anxiety also. Loud sounds. Suddenly they hear a loud sound. They feel anxious. Sleeping alone. These are 2 to 4 years. As they grow, age 5 to 7, they get anxious with the dark. They don't like it. The doctors, insects, and yes, friends rejections. They do crop up in this 5 to 7 year old. It is another big part of their anxiety. 8 to 11 are kind of think there are the age which pre-tweens and preteens in which they get scared when they have a very dear friend losing it. Maybe evil people doing them harm, disappointing their parents. Yeah, they do are very touching. I have major of my, lot of kids of this age group. I know how they feel sad when they don't get marks, or they don't do well. So they get disappointed. 12 to 18 is the age which is makes or breaks their elder. So how they are future, what will we do in the future? What will we pick as a career? Our image in front of our friends. What do they think? Should be part of the peer group or should we come out of it? How does it happen in the world? Why these things are happening? How should we present? What will I do in the future? How to do with so much work, so much presentations? So these are the anxieties in different age groups. Now there is a parent among us by the name of Juhi. I don't know whether she can hear me right now. I did a storytelling session with her daughters on finding worry, and these she has beautiful twins. And thank you, Juhi. I really appreciate for you trusting me with your daughters. And this is what the daughters drew when I give them during that particular storytelling session. Where do they feel the worry? So parents who kids are small, you can always tell them, showing this body, where do they feel. For example, Vonika said in the stomach, and Vanya mentioned in the legs. So they colored that part of the body. So this is what with children you can always see that how you can check where they feel, because these kids can't say. They are very small. They're very small. So why they are worried? Where do they feel their worry? So worry is a term for anxiety in the younger kids. Yeah. So their term is that worry. So this is where they feel a worry. So this is help the children to maybe share themselves. Mama, I'm feeling worry here, or in my head, or my hands. This is where I feel my worry in. So this is a very, very, very I don't know, but a tip you can say, or something which I think we can do. Now with the elder ones, which we are talking about, teens, preteens, tweens, we can always do a thermometer check. Always. It works with anger, it works with emotions. This is like a benchmark for everything which you are having a child having a problem. You just ask the right questions and give the rating. So when you ask them, are you having any conflict or a drama in a relationship? Well, are you anxious about it? Right? Did you are not prepared for exam. Where do you rate? Do you get scared in open white spaces now? It's going to come now after COVID. It's going to come because we all are in the homes. We have tried to make ourselves more at homes. Are you having a sick friend? Are there any rumors about you feel scared, getting making new friends make you anxious? Pressure to act or behave in a certain way, does it make you anxious? So they are like many things you can ask them. So this has all the questions, and you can always tell them the rating where they stand. So when you make them do this, you will come to know where they feel anxious. And as a parent, you can work on it. It will help you as a parent. And even if you feel it's something going out of the hand, then definitely the next step is the right person to approach to help the children to deal with it. But the first step is, where do as a parent I know where my child is actually lacking. So usually when you ask the teens and the preteens, they will not answer you. Oh, are you feeling anxious? They will never answer you. Give them this sheet. You will definitely come to know. Same goes with the 4-year-old. They will never tell you, but give them that picture of a body and tell them where you feel the anxiety. They will color it. This is how you have to. Don't ask them direct questions. Make them do some activities through which you can know about them. Now, this is a very, very, very crucial thing which I want to share with everyone. These are the myths of anxiety. When we always were kids, even I, as a matter of fact, or I am a very extrovert person. Now, whenever I used to meet an introvert person, I always used to believe, introverts don't, share. They keep to themselves. I thought extroverts usually don't have any issues. Myth. Who we all think and people have anxiety, we think the blue circle here, which is shy introverts. Yes, it's a myth. Who can actually have anyone? Half the circle is anyone. Okay, it can be anyone. It can be a social people, it can be a shy people, it can be extrovert, and introverts is this much part in it. So basically, anybody can have it. So we should not have a myth that, that kind of a thing. Next is, what do anxiety feel? People, we all feel. What does it feel like? Worrying about everything all the time. No, anxiety is not that. You're not always worrying. The children are not always worrying. You as a parent are not always worrying. It's actually sometimes sweating, sometimes second guessing, confirming, oh, did I over planning? Muscle paining sometimes, trouble sleeping, chest pain, overthinking, how to plan. You have a party tomorrow. Okay, mama, there's a party. I have to do this. Second guessing, making sure, calling again and again and again and again. Increased heart rate. It is a part of, and also your mind and body refusing to cooperate. It is no matter your brain is rational. Anxiety overpowers it. So they don't worry all the time, but it comes in bits and pieces and disguises in different things. Then the best is this one. When you are an anxious person, the children are anxious, they don't always want to hear. They will never want to hear, oh, have you tried meditation? Oh, just relax. It's just a phase. Nothing to worry. It's all in your head. It's all in your head. It will pass. Stop being such a drama queen or a dramatic boy. These are things you get to hear. And you actually, as a parent, we do it. I also do it. It's not like we all are great personalities. Okay. We didn't know. But the kids who are having anxiety or they feel anxious, they will never pay a nickel. A nickel means even 1 rupee to hear these phrases. They don't want to hear these phrases. So this is not in their head. This is not something, just relax. This is not something, it will go away. We need to deal with it. And how to deal with it, how to lessen it. Tell the children, you can go outside, you can ask for help. You need anxious, speak up. Do these activities. See if there's something they share with you. Always tell your children, share as emotion. Emotion is a very powerful tool. Expressing your emotion is very powerful. It solves 89%, 90% of the problems. That's what been teaching in MEQ from Lata also. And we also are pursuing it as a kids life coach, that emotional intelligence or EQ solves your 80% of the problem. Now, the next is create something. Try to create something, something which is innovative, something which is not there. Try to drink water. Take a deep breath. Yes. Write about how you feel. Start writing a journal. Listen to songs. Stay mindful. Stay present is like stay mindful. Mindful is very important. It helps us to be anxious less at a time and find a positive distraction. Tell the children to find something, think something nice, sing something positive, maybe a happiest day of your life. Try to distract with something which is happening a negative day. So what happens is, I always wish, it's something very funny, that I wish my metabolism worked as fast as anxiety. I could have lost my weight really faster. Okay, so this is what anxiety is. And you know what, when we talk about anxiety, they are usually, I always say, use it like a ABCDEF. Now, what is the ABCDEF? It's basically, A is avoid avoidance. What does it mean by that? It means that if you think your child is avoiding something, we usually as a parent say, okay, she doesn't like it there. Let's not take it. Let her take it somewhere else. Or she doesn't want to eat that food. Don't let her meet that child. No. Avoid avoidances means you have to coax a child to face that particular person, face that particular field, try to help them. It will help them to lessen it anxiety. B is be positive. Tell them to teach, have a good self-talk to your children. Tell them to have a good self-talk. Tell them to calm themselves with a little bit breathing before they are going for any situation where they think it can trigger their anxiety. Tell them do not want for for exercise better. Focus on the fun experiences you have as a family. So these are the things, and always, tell them, do not you anxiety doesn't mean that you always have to avoid certain things. It will, see, it doesn't go away like we don't have a magic wand, but we definitely can help it lessen them. When there is a phrase, as we all say, and I always like to end with it always, that parenthood, I started with it. If parenthood comes with a GPS, it will always say recalculating. So with this end, I thank you so much, Lata and MEQ Academy, for giving the opportunity to give this session to parents on anxiety. I hope it was helpful, and let's us recalculate all the time, accept that our children might have anxiety, might not have it, but let's be a little accept it, and let's move forward and help them lessen it, so that we have happy kids and this COVID soon pass. I hope we have more happier kids. Thank you, Lata. And